Hello, today's lesson is on probability. Now, probability means the chance of something happening. Okay, and today we're going to look at how we can write probabilities in terms of numbers. Now, the one thing you need to remember is that the probability of something happening is the number of successful outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. And usually it's easiest if we write it as a fraction. I'm now going to go through 3 examples of typical questions you may get. Make sure you work through these slowly so that you can understand what you need to do. Here is the first example. Here's a bag of sweets. There are 3 red sweets and 7 blue sweets. That means there's 10 sweets in total. If I pick out a sweet at random, what is the probability, first of all, that it is red? So in this type of question, we're going to write it as a fraction. Now, a success is a red sweet. So we count up how many red sweets there are. And there are 3 red sweets. So our numerator, our top number on our fraction is 3. And on the bottom, if you remember rightly, we had number of successful outcomes on the top. That's your 3. The bottom number is the denominator is the total number of possible outcomes. So in the sweets, the total possible outcomes we could do, there are 10 sweets, so the total possible outcomes is 10. So the answer to that first question is 3/10. The next question asks, what is the probability that if I pick a sweet out, that it is blue? So we count how many blue ones, they are our successes. There are 7, so that is our numerator, our top number, and our denominator is the number of possible outcomes, and it's still the same, there are 10 sweets, so 10. Now, the third question asks, what is the probability if I pick a sweet out that it is green? We can see there's no green sweets there. So what we do, we say that's impossible, and all we have to do if it's impossible is write 0. Example 2. Example 2 involves a dice. And it says, if I roll an ordinary dice, what is the probability that I roll? And the first one is a 5. So how many successes? There's one way of getting a success, and that is rolling a 5. So my numerator, my top number is a 1. And then how many possible outcomes are there? Well, there are 6 numbers on a dice, so there's 6 possible outcomes. So 1/6 is my answer. Part 2 says, what's the probability that I roll an even number? So first of all, we need to think how many even numbers on a dice. Well, there are the numbers 2, 4 and 6. So there are 3 different ways, 1, 2, 3, of getting an even number. That's our successes. And the total possible outcomes is still 6, getting a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. Part C says, what is the probability that I roll a number less than 3? Well, a number less than 3 doesn't include 3. So on a dice, the numbers less than 3 are 1 and 2. So there's 2 numbers less than 3. That's our numerator. And our denominator is 6 still, because there are 6 possible numbers you could roll. Part D says, what's the probability that I roll a number greater than 6? Well, there are no numbers on a dice that are greater than 6 because greater does not include 6. So that is impossible. So like before, we write 0. Example 3. Example 3 says, if I write the letters of the word mathematics on separate pieces of card and then choose one card at random, what is the probability that I choose? So part A says the letter T. So what we need to do is we need to first of all find out how many successes, and the success is getting a T, there are in mathematics. Now there are 2 T's, so that is our numerator, our top number. And then we have to, on the bottom number, the denominator, we need to know how many different possibilities could I have picked. So we count up how many letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the answer is 2 over 11. Second question says, what's the chance if you picked a letter out that it's an E? So again, we go through, success is an E, there's 1 E, so that's your numerator, your top number. And we know there are 11 letters, 11 possibilities all in total, so that's like 1 chance out of 11. The third and final question says, what's the chance we pick a letter M or S? So a success is whether we pick an M or an S. So we count how many M's, 1, 2, and how many S's, so an extra S there, so that's 1, 2, 3 successes, and we know there's 11 possibilities altogether. Now you've watched this, you hopefully should be able to do the exercises set. Good luck.